welcome back to my channel. So at the risk of doing the same shit constantly over and over and over with my videos, I decided to switch it up a bit this time around and actually film me as I dyed my hair. Now this is something that I get asked quite a bit, so I thought, you know, sure, why not? I'll show you guys how I do it, since I do it on myself, so it's going to be slightly different than somebody doing it on somebody else's head, obviously. Anyways, I went ahead and recorded that, and then at the end I'll show you the products that I use just in case you're interested. This is not a tutorial and I'm not teaching you how to do it. This is just me showing you how I do it. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down below and I'll get to those as soon as I can. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video.
So here I'm just brushing out my hair, making sure there's no tangles, and yes, my hair is that oily. Before I'm gonna dye my hair or put any type of chemical on it, I love to make sure that it's super dirty. That way it doesn't have any chance of burning my scalp or doing anything weird that it would do on a clean scalp or on cleaner hair. Now here I'm just twisting my hair up into like little buns. I section it off this way because it's easier for me, and the front of my hair will develop a lot faster than the back half of my hair, and it's also a lot less. So you'll see me start at the top, but in the back of those sections, I find that this is the easiest way for me to do my hair. This is also the way that it was taught to me, so that's how I execute it. Also, another thing I'd like to note here is that I typically don't wait this long to do the retouch on my hair. I like to wait till my hair grows out about an inch. Right here we're looking at almost 2 inches of regrowth, just because I was busy with school and debating on what I was going to do next to my hair, if I was going to keep it the same or not. Yeah, I can get pretty indecisive about my hair. Now this isn't a perfect application for the simple fact that I can't see the back of my head. I've been doing this for years, and I've even done it with a mirror behind me and a mirror in front of me, and it just gets so complicated that I literally just go by parting it and by feel and looking in the mirror as I go. I guess you could do this a much better way, but this is what works for me, so this is just what I stick to. I guess now is a good time to note that I am using 30 volume developer with bleach. I like to use the 30 because it's not as slow as the 20, but it doesn't work as fast as the 40. However, in the front, I will have a separate batch mixed with 40 developer, since it does have to catch up with the back half, which, as you can see in the video, is already starting to change color. Or the proper way to say it would be it's starting to lift my natural color. Since my natural color is like a level 2, I would say it's like a dark, dark brown. Now this is obviously fast forwarded, but you should be moving fast enough to where your product isn't developing faster than you can keep up with it, or you will end up frying part of your hair and the other part not even being as light as you need it to be for it to be as bright as you want it to be. And yes, bleach can burn, which is why I'm using the gloves and not my bare hands, and why I like to have my scalp to be dirty and greasy when I do this. Now I'm going to go ahead and touch on a subject that I get asked about a lot, which is this super damaging to your hair? And as you can see, all I'm doing is bleaching it. So if you're bleaching your hair already, you're doing just as much damage if you were to stay blonde or do a crazier color. Once I'm done applying the bleach, I wrap it all up, put a cap on it, just so that my own body heat will help accelerate the process and keep the product wet. Once bleach is dry, it will stop working and you will end up with a lot of uneven dark spots. Right here you see me going through it again after I see how it's lightening, just to make sure it's wet where it needs to be. And this is what it looks like once it's done. Nothing but a big old blonde band all around. And this is actually fully dry. I make sure that it's dry because that's the way the color adheres to it better. And before I start applying that dye all over again, I protect my skin with either Vaseline or coconut oil, just so the dye doesn't stain my face super bad. I also put it around my ears and my neck. And here I start applying the first color, which is like this blue-green color, regardless of what it may look like on the screen. And I usually go through it with a brush only and use my fingers towards the end, but because my green is still very prominent at the bottom, I don't really need to do that. I just go through it and apply it to all the blonde pieces and then kind of smooth and work it down a little bit. It also helps that this hair dye isn't super wet. It's got a nice thick consistency, so it's going to stay put where you put it and you don't have to worry about it running down anywhere. Now, accidents can and will happen, like getting hair dye all over your face, which is what I'm cleaning up right now. So with that being said, I do like to keep either tissues next to me or a dirty rag, and I am wearing a bleached up shirt because I don't want to ruin any good clothes with any of the hair dye. Now, you'll see me starting in the middle always, just because I like to see that nice division line between the two colors, and it helps me from getting a little bit messier than I need to and accidentally blending colors. However, that does happen sometimes. You just gotta live with it and keep on going. Now, I have been doing this for a really long time, for years actually, so I have found just ways to do it faster. Also, because my old color is still there, I don't need to deposit as much on my length as I do near my root, which is where it's blonde, and that's where it has the tendency to fade the most. And sometimes you gotta go back in there and touch it up again if it isn't the desired color that it needs to be. So now that application's all done, you just gotta sit there and let it cook. These are the products that I used. This is for the blue and green side. That's Arctic Fox Aquamarine and Cosmic Sunshine, as well as Color Brilliance's Mint and Directions in some type of yellow, I forget. Now for my orange side, I mix Arctic Fox, Sunset Orange, also using Cosmic Sunshine, with a little bit of Manic Panic Red Passion and the same yellow from Directions. So this sums up my video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope it was a bit helpful. Have a nice day, and I'll see you soon.